I want to talk about the all Big 12 team. Who was on it? Who's not on it? So let's start with the news, which would be that Spencer Rattler is, going to generate even more heat. So as the college football season creeps closer, the redshirt freshman quarterback continues to just be saucy, along with 4 players on the all Big 12 preseason offensive defense. Rattler earned Big 12 Newcomer of the Year in a poll conducted by the league office with media members, for which I participated. I did not make him Newcomer of the Year. Get to that in a little bit. Rattler has yet to start a game for the Sooners, but his pedigree and resume have had OU fans imagining future national titles since he first committed. A former 5-star quarterback and the #1 signal caller in the class of 2019. Rattler was crowned and the crown jewel of the highest ranked recruiting class of the Riley era so far, finished number 6. He was joined in that class by top skill player talent like sophomore wide receivers Theo Weiss, Trajan Bridges, and Jaden Hazelwood. While he's in a quarterback derby with redshirt sophomore Tanner Mordecai, Rattler is expected to win the starting job outright before OU's planned season opening game with Missouri State. If Mordecai is able to win the job, the upset would speak both of Mordecai's prowess and years in Riley's system, and of what Rattler still needs to learn. However, that's exactly where the Sooners stand as preseason camp is scheduled to get underway in just over a week's time. The even-year quarterbacks Riley has recruited since he first came to OU as an offensive coordinator have yet to earn the opportunity to start. So, though former OU quarterback Austin Kendall ranked inside the top 200 players in the country in the 247 Sports Composite in the 2016 recruiting class, he sat behind Heisman winners Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray after 2017 Sooner signee Chris Robinson transferred. Still, Riley saw fit to bring in another 2016 quarterback and player who ranked 2 spots behind Kendall in former OU quarterback Jalen Hurts. Hurts came to OU as a grad transfer from Alabama, of course, and it was too much for Kendall to take. Kendall chose to grad transfer to West Virginia rather than compete outright for the starting job with Hurts, a man who started the 2017 national title game and was the only player on the team with a national title ring in 2019. In Mordecai, Riley signed a quarterback who not only did not grade as highly as Rattler coming out of high school, but was the second quarterback he'd recruited and earned a commitment from the 2018 class in. Utah quarterback Cam Rising was Riley's first pick in 2018. Ends up committing with Texas, transfers to Utah. Alabama freshman quarterback Bryce Young was his first pick in 2020. Of course, Oklahoma signed Chandler Morris. 5-star quarterback Brock Vandegrift was his first pick in 2021. After Vandegrift reopened his recruitment and committed to Georgia, Riley moved on again. He's since earned a commitment from 5-star quarterback Caleb Williams. Now, Rattler is the only quarterback Riley has recruited out of high school, who is also the only quarterback he wanted in any one class from jump since moving to Norman. This quarterback derby between Rattler and Mordecai, as well as this 2020 season, will speak to just what Riley is capable of with a homegrown player he wanted from jump. Or more to the point, what he isn't capable of with a homegrown player from the jump. Because the criticism that looms over the top of one Lincoln Riley is he has done it with transfer quarterbacks. I think he would be even better with a guy that he wanted from jump and who was not tainted by some other scheme or some other quarterback's coach or offensive coordinator. But that's what we really want to see. Now, he's joined on this list of all Big 12 superlatives by Creed Humphrey, who, with a great season this year, could be a first-round draft selection as an interior offensive lineman, which is a humongous feat. He's also joined by Ronnie Perkins, who, despite being suspended for the first 5 games of the season, we think in a regular season, right, where they play 12 games, it's a percentage total. that he's going to be pretty good. We think he's going to be pretty good. He's also joined by Charleston Rambo, who needs to be the leader on a very young, if very talented wide receiver group. And he's going to play that Z spot, that Hollywood Brown position once again. And I expect him to get the bulk of the targets as, one, he is the most senior member of that receiving corps. And two, Rattler wants to push the ball down the field like Murray wanted to push the ball down the field, like Mayfield wanted to push the ball down the field. And he's also really going to be joined by, I think, a pretty outstanding defense, of which I was shocked to see Perkins was the only guy that was picked. Because when we talk about defensive players and we talk about all Big 12, I think Oklahoma has a couple of dudes that we should be thinking about. Now, the offensive player of the year, offensive MVP, according to media members, is Chuba Hubbard, right? I picked Chuba as well. It's hard to pick against an All-American who rushed 2,000 yards in the Big 12 last year, okay? He's also the first-team running back. What I found to be interesting is Puka Williams Jr. got the second spot at tailback, okay, out of Kansas. Great player, outstanding running back, not what Kennedy Brooks has been able to do, though. Kennedy Brooks has been a walking first down since he got to Oklahoma, okay? Without getting over 200 carries in any season, that man is pushed for 1,000 yards, and he's never been the feature back. I think if you're just paying attention to how he's been used, paying attention to how Puka was just part of the offense and the way that Hubbard was part of the offense, you should think that Puka would do better than Brooks. Also add in there that Carter Stanley was good last year. So was Andrew Parchment last year, and Andrew Parchment is an all-Big 12 performer as well, according to the preseason votes. But I thought that was one oversight by media members. Another oversight, the all-Big 12 newcomer of the year. I didn't pick Rattler because I didn't think of him as a newcomer. I thought of him as a redshirt freshman. But even if I did think of him as a true freshman, I'm still going with Bijan Robinson. You've heard me talk about this kiddo. 17 yards per carry. 400 and 500 yards rushing on less than 20 carries in a game. And in a backfield where they're probably going to run the ball as much as they toss it. Because when Mike Yurcich had Justice Hill, they were running the ball. And if you got a tailback that you can run out of single back that can do what Bijan Robinson can do in the open field, you're going to put him on there. Another guy that if we're just going to talk about snubs would be Jake Smith, who was not just the Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year, the same year that Rattler came out, both 2019 signees, he was the National Gatorade Player of the Year. This is Christian McCaffrey Part 2. And when they let him return kicks and punts, and they put him in positions to play not just slot, but get the ball out of the backfield on jet sweeps, you're going to see what this dude is capable of. So that's two oversights. And the last oversight, I didn't put Sam Ellinger as the all Big 12 first-team quarterback. I understand that he's got more touchdowns than any other player at quarterback is responsible for, 84. But Brock Purdy has shown us for the last couple of years he's ready to ascend. Last year, Brock Purdy not only beats Texas and falls a point short and a 2-point conversion of beating Oklahoma in Norman, but passed for 3,982 yards. That's a school record. And he did it without any of y'all being able to name a starting wide receiver for Iowa State. Okay? He did it with a true freshman tailback in Breece Hall. Give Matt Campbell and Brock Purdy an opportunity, and they're going to shock you. I'm circling that game on the calendar for Oklahoma State, for Texas, for Oklahoma, for Texas Christian, as one in which they can't lose. Because Iowa State, I believe, is going to be this year what Baylor was last year. They have that kind of juice. So there's three that I think we need to take into account as we continue to look toward what looks like an inevitability, which is the start of a college football season. But how does that thing end?